Welcome to More with the Mac. JP Reloaded. We're gonna have some short demos. We're gonna have some Q&A. We might even have some special guests stop by. So sit back, relax, gather your notes and ask questions, and enjoy More with the Mac. JP Reloaded. All right, welcome to More with the Mac. JP Reloaded. We got my boy from TTJTech.biz. I almost did it again. Anyways, he's going to go over our predictable patterns here because he's better at it than I am. Just the only thing he is better than me. Anyway, but he's going to go over predictable patterns, familiarity, say that 3 times, about how apps are laid out, and then I'm going to go over some keyboard shortcuts. So we're going to kind of tag team this episode of More with the Mac. JP Reloaded. Take over, Matt.
Exactly, and of course I'll get back to you about how many things I'm actually better at than he is, but I'll do it when he's not around so he can't make a rebuttal right here and now. Anyhow, glad to be here and glad to be demonstrating Mac OS with predictable patterns. If you've taken any of our other courses on VoiceOver, we've spent a lot of time emphasizing the fact that with a few basic gestures, you can easily navigate your iPhone and your iPad. Well, the same is true with the Macintosh. With just a few basic commands and some basic concepts, you're going to be able to use any app or any website with very, very few exceptions. Now, where Trainer Kliph comes in is he's going to show you some alternative ways to navigate using the keyboard commands that VoiceOver provides and that Mac OS provides that might make things a little bit quicker for those who like to do it that way. But we want to get these basics down pat first. VoiceOver on the Mac, just like on your iPhone and your iPad, uses a thing called the VoiceOver cursor. And that VoiceOver cursor is the go-between where with regards to you versus the screen of your Mac. We move the VoiceOver cursor with the VO keys or the VoiceOver keys, and I'm sure you've already heard this, but we'll repeat it anyway. Control and Option are your VO keys. Now, I know some people like to use the caps lock, and Kliph's very favorite way to do it in the world is with the caps lock, right, Kliph?
Keep it up.
But you can do that, and of course you can customize that in your system settings. We are going to use Control and Option because Kliph and I both prefer to do that if we're going to use modifier keys. We also will call them sometimes just the VoiceOver keys or VO keys. And so if you hear me say VO right arrow, what that means is Control Option right arrow. VO obviously stands for VoiceOver. These are VoiceOver commands moving the VoiceOver cursor. If you turn off VoiceOver, they will not work. The most basic commands with these predictable patterns is very simply VO left arrow and VO right arrow. In other words, Control Option left arrow or Control Option right arrow to move between elements on the screen from item to item. To make a very, very simple way of seeing that, a simple example of that, I'm going to go to my Applications folder. Right at this moment, my focus is on the Zoom app, so I'll start out by pressing a Mac OS command, not a VoiceOver one, but a Mac OS command, which is Command Tab.
Finder, Applications.
And I already happened to be in the Applications folder because, they say personal preference. That's how I like to launch a lot of my apps. And Trainer Kliph's going to show you commands, formerly known as commanders before, and now he can, just press a few keyboard commands to launch just about anything he wants. But I use the Applications folder, and I'll bring focus up here near the top by typing the letter A, because that'll move me to one of my first items, I'm sure.
Affinity Designer to Application.
Now, I'm already in my list of applications. And so for those who are already familiar with this, we don't have to interact because I'm already there. I will show you and we'll teach interacting.
Now this is the what did you do to get to this?
Well, I was in Zoom, so I just did Command Tab, and I was already in the applications folder because that's where I launched Zoom. If I had not been, we'd have had to do Command Shift A or some other way of opening the application.
Right. Now, there is another way. I don't know if you've played with it yet, but Apple has replaced the Launchpad that you loved so much. And now there's this app in the applications folder. If you push it, it's actually called Apps or Applications, something like that.
And it's on my dock. Let's show everybody the command to bring up the dock, VOD, or VoiceOver D as in dock.
Dock. Finder. Open. Apps. 2 of 30.
And there it is. And it is called Apps. And you'll notice, how did I move to apps? I simply did a VO right arrow. So that's a perfect example. We'll do it again and we'll move through my dock items.
Safari, messages, mail, maps, photos.
Now if I want to go back to the previous items, I do VO left arrow.
Map, mail, messages, Safari, 3 of 30, apps, Finder.
And we're back to Finder. Now I'll press escape to get out of the dock because
Finder, applications.
I can also do the same thing in my applications folder. Again, VO right arrow.
Affinity Photo 2, Affinity Publisher 2, Airy, Amber, App Store, Apple Configurator, Apps, Automator, Books, Calculator, Calendar, Chatbot, Chess, Application.
Lots and lots of apps here. And we can also use the VO keys with the up and down arrows because that'll move us to the next row. If we have multiple rows, it'll just
EA app, font book, image capture, Logic Pro, news, application.
Okay, so we can do VO up and down in some of these lists, but typically VO left and VO right are going to move you between items on a web page or in an app or just even in a folder. So let's give you another example of that. Let's just take this a little bit farther. And before we do anything else, let's demonstrate the same kind of thing in a folder of documents that I might have or something like that. So I'm going to quickly, and again there are other ways to do this, but I know a keyboard command, a Mac OS keyboard command that lets me quickly go to iCloud Drive. It's Command Shift I. So if I press that,
iCloud Drive,
and
status bar, icon view, collection.
All right, this time I'm going to have to interact, so I'm going to teach that to you in just a moment. Not yet. I want to do one more demo of this left and right sort of thing here. So let me just interact, and we'll talk about how in a moment.
Tech Showdown Sounds, audio files, full right. Tech Showdown Sounds.
Here's a folder called Tech Showdown Sounds. We are having our big tech showdown. By the time you hear this, we may have already had it, where we went head-to-head with the 4 panelists to talk about the different platforms. And we have some sound effects, and I'll go ahead and open this folder. Now, how do you open something? You've moved VO left, VO right, VO up, VO down. How do you actually activate? So there's an activate command. It will open a folder. It will click an icon. It'll click a link on a web page, anything you want. If you do VO spacebar or Control Option Space, that's going to open this folder.
Icon view, collection.
Okay, now we're inside this, and I'm gonna skip over this interacting thing. We're gonna get to it in just a minute.
01 pre-dash.
Let's just play a sound. I'm gonna play the Showdown trailer. Now, I know that when I'm in Mac OS, I know that the word Showdown starts with an S, and I can use first letter navigation. But if you're familiar with that other platform from the guys up north, you are thinking you just repeatedly press the letter S until you hear Showdown. But that's not how it works on the Apple platforms. With Apple, you start spelling the word, and it takes you right to it. So I'm going to type SHO.
Showdown intro full.
And I don't want that one right now. We're going to surprise everybody with that. But I can...
laughter-small.mp3.
And maybe I didn't put it in here, actually.
Showed.
Now that I think about it, we'll just use something else. I didn't put it in this folder, that's why. I didn't put it in that location. So,
laughter-small.
We can just use some laughter. All right, we're going to open that up to see what that sounds like. And I'm going to teach you another command because I already told you VO spacebar will open this up. The problem is, I don't know what it's going to open up with. I don't want it to add it to my music library or anything like that. I just want to get a quick look at it. And for that, we have a feature called Quick Look. So instead of VO space, I can just press the space bar.
Quick Look window. Laughter dash small.
And there's our laughter. That's what everybody was...
Share file. Laughter dash open with movie group movie.
See, I can VO right arrow.
Move open
VO
with
left
music.
arrow.
Share laughter full screen close button.
There's a close button which I could VO space on. Now you can also press escape to close this quick look, but I'm just gonna be consistent here with our patterns. So we're gonna press VO space on this close button. Listen again.
Close button.
And
000 dash.
okay, it's now closed. We did a VO space on it. So the next thing we need to learn now is, what is it with this interacting? What is that all about? You've heard me say it. I'm sure you've heard other people say it. How do I know when I need to interact, and why in the world do we have to in the first place? Well, we have to very quickly discuss a little bit of screen reader philosophy to fully understand this. Apple tends to do things a little bit differently than some of the others out there. I think it's a good thing, but that's, personal opinion. But I like it. But what you have to understand is, with a screen reader, a lot of the platforms out there sort of make the decisions for you about what's important for you to hear. And so they don't give you access easily to everything on the screen. I've actually heard trainers from other companies that make other screen readers. I won't say their names because I don't want to deliberately disparage anybody, but I've actually heard trainers say, as a blind user, you don't need to know everything that's on the screen. You just need to know certain things. Well, I don't tend to agree with that, and I don't think Apple does either. I don't want to speak for Apple, but they've made VoiceOver in such a way that you can easily find everything that is on the screen through the predictable patterns we've already taught you some of, like VO left arrow, VO right arrow, VO spacebar. And so as you're navigating and you move around on the screen, you're going to find that there's a lot going on a Mac OS screen, just as there is on a Windows screen. It's just most visually impaired users don't realize it on Windows because you don't have easy access to it. For example, if I open an app like Pages or Messages or the Music app, I will often find that there is a toolbar. Now that toolbar contains numerous options that I can quickly click on. For example, in Pages, I might have a toolbar that has a button to quickly create a new document, and another button that allows me to quickly open a document, another button that maybe quickly allows me to insert an object, a shape, or something else. And you might say, well, wouldn't there be a keyboard command for that? Well, absolutely. Most times there is. But sometimes you don't know what all of your options are, and so you might want to take a look at these toolbars and see what you can do. It's not only a toolbar you're going to have in Pages. You're going to have the layout area, which is your actual document canvas where you type. You're going to have what's known as the formatter, which is where you make selections. Once you've selected text, you want to change the font size, you want to change the color, you want to, center your text, those kinds of things. Yes, again, there's keyboard commands, but also you may not know what all of the options are, and you may prefer to interact with the layout area, with the formatter. So here's the basic premise behind all this. There are multiple elements on the screen, and many of those elements contain additional information. When you're using your VO keys along with the arrow keys, you are typically starting out at an uppermost level where you're getting a sort of a bird's eye view of everything. But if you want to work more specifically with a certain area of the screen, like a toolbar, like the formatter, like the layout area, you need to interact with it, because interacting is a way of essentially going deeper so that you can get more refined information about a particular area. And I like to give this analogy. We've given this, I think, every year, and I praise God for showing this to me. I like to give the analogy of going into a giant hotel. Now, when you first walk into that building, there's going to be some things immediately available to you, maybe the desk where you check in, the front desk, and so on. But as you start to walk down the hall, you're going to see some doors, and one door might be the restaurant that the hotel has. You go in and get yourself a bite to eat. Another door might be the swimming pool. So if you actually want to go for a swim or to get a bite to eat, you're not just going to stay in the hallway. When you're in the hallway, you can see, oh, restaurant, there it is, open, till midnight. You see the next door on the right, there it is. Oh, it says pool open till 10 p.m. But I can't swim. I'm not going to get wet if I just walk through the hallway. All that's going to happen is I'm going to see, oh, there's the pool, and now I'm past it. If I want to actually go into the pool, I need to open the door and walk in. Likewise, if I go up to my room, maybe I'm in room 602, so I go up in the elevator to the 6th floor, and I start walking down the hallway, and I see room 602. I keep walking. 604. Oh, what happened? I passed right by 602. Why? Because I didn't open the door and go inside. If I want to get in there, I want to lay down on the bed, watch TV, make a little coffee, I need to go inside the room, go deeper, and now I'm going to see everything that's in that room. Well, I think this is a great example. As I said, I was really blessed when God showed that to me, because it's a great example of how we navigate on the Mac. You see these things, toolbar, layout area, icon view, all this stuff, but you don't have access to it unless you interact. So allow me to demonstrate now what that's like in this Finder window. I'm going to stop interacting, and then I'm going to tell you how to interact and so forth. Let me get up as high to the highest level as I can. Okay, I'm all the way up. And I'm even going to go a step farther, and I'm going to VO left arrow very quickly a bunch of times to take us as far left as we can go. So we're as far up as we can go. Let's go all the way to the left.
Minimum close.
Okay, there we go. We're at the upper level, and the thing we need is to start exploring this screen. And what I'm going to do that is the same command I already taught you, VO right arrow, because I can't VO left arrow. I'm already as far left as I can go.
Close
See,
button.
I get that boundary reach sound. It's the close button, but I can VO right arrow.
Minimize button.
Let's keep going.
Full screen button.
Okay, these are just our window controls. Keep going.
Tech Showdown sounds.
That's the title of the window we're in Finder. Finder is how we navigate our files and our folders.
Toolbar.
Okay, notice, toolbar. There it is. Toolbar. Now, if I just keep VO right arrowing, I'm going to bypass this toolbar.
Sidebar. Table.
Oh, and there's another one. There's a sidebar. But I didn't get anything from the toolbar because I didn't go into the hotel room. So let's VO left arrow to go back to that toolbar.
Toolbar.
And let's now perform our interacting command. And what is the command to do that? We're going to press the VO keys along with the shift and the down arrow. Again, that's VO shift down arrow. Or once again, control option shift down arrow. That is how you start interacting. Sometimes you'll even have to interact multiple times to go multiple levels down, but that's neither here nor there right now. The command to start interacting is VO shift down arrow, and the command to stop interacting, to go back up a level out of that hotel room, is VO shift up arrow. So let me interact with this toolbar because I want to know what's in it or on it.
In toolbar. 10 items, /forward group.
And that's a perfect example of where you would actually want to interact a second time if you wanted to use that. But I'll come back to that. Let's VO right arrow.
Icon view selected, radio button, 1 of 4. List view, radio button, 2 of 4. Column view, gallery view, group, menu button, share button, add tags button, action, menu button, search button, search.
Okay, and of course, if you're like Trainer Kliph, you're thinking there's a lot of keyboard commands that we could use instead, and that's fine. That's where personal preference comes in. But I'm just teaching you these predictable patterns right now because sometimes there may not always be keyboard commands for certain things, websites and so on. You need to be able to interact with the web content before you can use some of the other things. Here was an example of something I might want. Go to the left, VO left.
Action, menu button.
I have no idea what's in that menu button, and I would not have even known it was there had I not interacted with the toolbar. So if I want to see what's in that menu, what's the command? VO spacebar.
Menu, 21 items.
And now I can VO down arrow through this menu.
New folder. Open. Open with submenu. Download now. Keep downloaded. Move to trash. Get info. Rename. Compress. Duplicate.
Look at all these different options. If I want to choose one, you already know what I'm going to say. VO spacebar. If I want to get out of this menu without choosing it, I'll just press escape.
Closing menu. Action menu.
Now remember, we are still inside the hotel room. We're still inside the toolbar because we didn't stop interacting. All we did was press escape to exit that menu that we activated. I want to show you that sometimes you might need to interact a second time. So let's VO left arrow to that back forward group.
List icon /forward group.
Okay, now again, there are keyboard commands. Instead, you could do command left bracket to go back and so forth. But I want to just show you, this is a second level interacting. You got to do again your VO shift down arrow. It's as if you're in the hotel room and now you want to go into the bathroom and take a shower, or you want to look in the closet. There's another door you got to open. So let's open that door up by doing VO shift down arrow on this /forward group.
In /forward group, 2 items, back menu button.
And I'm on the back button and the right VO right arrow.
Forward dimmed menu button.
And of course,
forward.
It's grayed out because I can't go forward right now. That's fine. So we'll stop interacting once with VO shift up arrow.
Out of /forward group.
And I'll VO shift up one more time to go out completely of the toolbar.
Out of toolbar.
All right. Let me give you one more example here because I'm going to say this so many ways you'll get it. So let's VO right arrow.
Sidebar table. No selection.
Now, that's another bar that we can interact with. It's called a sidebar. And what's in the sidebar is essentially my locations that I might want to use, because remember, I'm in the Finder. That's where I am. I'm not on a website. I'm not in a document. I'm in the Finder looking at my files and folders. And I told you, Finder is how you look at your files and folders. So the sidebar lets you choose what drive or what folder, you know. So I'll just show you a little bit of this. If I interact with this sidebar, VO shift down.
Icon view collection.
Now, what
vertical
happens?
split create Genmoji. Describe in emoji.
Hold on.
Finder sidebar table in sidebar table.
Okay, there we go. Now, VO left arrow.
Recents.
VO right arrow.
Shared. Favorites. Applications. Level 1. Desktop. Documents. Downloads. Locations. Expanded.
And when something is expanded, by the way, or when it's collapsed, how do you expand it, or how do you collapse it if you don't want to see it? Well, there's sometimes the VO spacebar will work and sometimes it won't. That's one of those cases where we have a second predictable pattern. If we come to something that's expanded and VO space doesn't work to collapse it, or vice versa, we can press VO \. Now remember, the \ key is the one above the return or enter key. Let's try that here.
Collapsing locations. Sell
Okay.
2 items.
There it is. So now I come across this and I hear,
Locations collapsed.
and it's collapsed. So I'll VO \ on it.
Expanding locations. Sell 2 items.
Now I can continue to move VO right arrow,
iCloud Drive. Level 1.
and that's where I want to be. So I'm going to stop interacting with this sidebar, VO shift up arrow,
Out of sidebar.
and I'm going to VO right arrow to the icon area because I have mine set up as icons. Yours might say list or something, but
Vertical splitter.
we won't be concerned about the vertical splitter right now. It has to do with visually what you're seeing.
Icon view collection.
There's the icon view collection that has all of my iCloud Drive contents. And what you'll notice if I VO right arrow again,
Status bar. Status.
I never heard my collection, did I? I got to the status bar because, again, I did not interact. So let's VO left arrow,
Icon view.
and let's interact.
Tech showdown sounds.
Now I can see everything, VO left and VO right.
Audio files. Pages. Downloads. Procreate brushes. GarageBand for iOS. RF music.
Okay, all of these different things now in my, in my Finder, excuse me, there, and VO space to open it. And there's another command I want to teach you while we're right here, and that is, you know that you can VO space to open it, and that is kind of the same thing as like double tapping on your iPhone or iPad. But if you're an avid iPhone or iPad user, you also know that there's a long press gesture, which is the double tap and hold. And that gives you contextual options, context menus. How do I get such menus on the Mac? Well, there are 2 ways that we can do that, and it just depends on the scenario which one we need to use, but usually our VoiceOver hints will tell us. I don't know, well, maybe I turned my hints off. I'm not getting hints. I don't know. I don't remember, but I didn't think I did that, but whatever. Anyway, if we press the...
Just a teaser, if you want to have VoiceOver read your hint, is VO shift and the letter N.
And the letter... Yes. Yep. And you can.
Actions available. RF music in iCloud, shared by me.
Now,
You are currently on a folder. To open, press Control Option Space.to begin interacting with the contents of this image. Press Control Option Shift down arrow. To exit this group, press Control Option Shift up arrow.
And I could have pressed Control to stop that, but I wanted to let it go so you could hear just how thorough the hints really are. And when I pressed that VO Shift N, it read all of that to me. And the first thing that it said is actions available. That proves to me that absolutely I need to learn the context or secondary action, or double tap and hold, as you'd call it on an iPhone or an iPad, or you Windows users would say right click. So if we want to get that, there's two ways, and the newest way is VO command spacebar.
I have to do it. Right click is not the terminology that we use when we teach Windows. I say we because that's my day job. Mac is my passion, as people know. But now, more recently, it's Shift F10.
Yes.
Back in the day, before Microsoft decided to redesign the keyboard, it was the applications key. So, just so you guys know that I teach Windows, yes, but Mac is still my baby, as Matt would say, my passion. That's where my heart is. But Windows pays the bills. But yes, the context menu, applications key, Shift F10, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same thing. It
That's
gets you
right.
in the same place.
And so on the Mac, remember VO spacebar to activate. How do we get the secondary activate? It's VO command space. We're going to simply add one more key there. I'll do it right here on this. What was I on?
GarageBand for iOS.
GarageBand for iOS. If I VO space, it's going to open up that folder. If I VO command space, it's going to
Actions menu, 2 items.
And now if I press VO down arrow, I can see what those items are.
Open. Show menu.
Open.
Show.
And show menu. And if I show the menu, look at what I get.
Menu. 13. Show menu. Open a new tab. Download now. Keep downloaded. Move to trash. Get info. Compress. Make alias.
Okay, I'm going to hit escape.
Closing menu.
Lots and lots of stuff in that menu. And I told you there were two ways. Sometimes one works and sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, I'm fairly confident that it will. We can skip a step. We can skip the VO command space, and we can just do VO Shift M to get into the context menu.
Menu. 13 items. Open a new tab.
And there it is. And again, if we want to activate any of these, VO spacebar. If we want to exit the menu, we'll press escape.
Closing menu.
Now, I would suppose that Trainer Kliph, this is really his course. I'm honored to be a guest. I have entrusted him with this course because he's really the Mac guy, but we always work together. But I assume, Kliph, you're going to do a separate session on Safari. Is that right?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is bring the late, great John Panarese's recording in here because not much has changed.
Right.
I'll fill in the blanks, but
Right.
because this is JP Reloaded, we are going to have multiple sessions where we have John do his teaching and we fill in the blanks of what has changed since then,
Exactly.
which is not much.
Exactly. And so I won't go into Safari because I don't need to, except just to say that the very same thing, because what happens a lot of times is people hear myths and they hear rumors that maybe were never true, or maybe they were, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, but they're not anymore. And, one of those is, it's so hard to navigate in Safari on the Mac. Literally, you can navigate in Safari on the Mac right now. If you followed everything that Kliph and I just taught you in this session, you could go in, you could go to Amazon.com, you could order yourself a toothpaste or a pack of cookies or whatever you want. You could do it using just the commands that I have given you with the predictable patterns. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't easier ways. And when you hear the Safari recording, you're going to learn about things like VO command H to move by heading, or single key quick nav where you can just press H, and you can use the rotor even without a trackpad. You can use it on the keyboard. You're going to learn about all those things. Absolutely, they're going to make things quicker. But the point is, learning just the information that I told you now is enough to let you get around. If you really needed to do it, you could figure everything else out. I have a couple more commands very quickly that I just want to show you. And one of them is the menu bar, because there is a special way to get to the menu bar. And it is a VoiceOver, well, there's actually a couple of ways, but I'm going to give you the VoiceOver command because we're just going to stay consistent. And it's VOM as in menu, or Control Option M. Your menu bar is along the top of the screen. It starts out with the Apple menu. Let's press VOM to see what that sounds like.
Apple menu, 10 items.
Now, if I want to go to the other menus in the menu bar, it's just VO right arrow.
Finder, File, Edit, View, Go, Window, Help.
Okay. Oh, I thought Go might sound interesting. Let's see what's in there. So VO left.
Window, Go, Menu, 19 items.
Now again, you might have been taught differently here, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, I'm not trying to be difficult, this may be a little different than you were taught, but what I want is consistency right now. So I, on the Go menu, am going to press VO down arrow to get into this and to move through it. You don't really need the VO keys here, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Back command left bracket.
And notice, it tells me command left bracket will take me back. I would not have had to go to that toolbar.
Forward, dimmed command right bracket, and closing folder, dimmed recent command shift F, documents command shift O.
And again, listen to some of the ones I showed you before.
Desktop command downloads, home command shift H, library, computer command airdrop, network command iCloud drive command shift I.
iCloud Drive, Command Shift I. Remember I told you about that. Now, if I want to choose one of these, here again, you might have been taught differently, and that's okay, but for the purpose of being consistent, I can press VO spacebar on any of these menu items to activate them. Yes, you can also press Return or Enter, because the Mac OS menu bar, once you get into it, your actual system focus is moving with the VoiceOver cursor. You can do that, but VO spacebar will also work because I taught you that's the activate command. And I think if I press my hint feature,
you are currently on a menu item. To choose this menu item, press Control Option Space. To close this menu, press Escape.
And so we'll just do that.
Closing menu, GarageBand for iOS.
And then I'm going to close this window completely because I don't really need it anymore. So I'm going to press Command W, which is a non-VoiceOver. That's a Mac OS command. You walk up to somebody's Mac who has no VoiceOver turned on, you can still press Command W to close a window.
Lacy volume, calendar.
And you can press Command Q to quit an app, but all we needed to do is close a folder. Just for your own reference purposes, that Lacy is a backup drive that I use for Time Machine, for those who know what that is, and I have a calendar widget on my desktop and
news widget, calendar,
and what else?
Macintosh HD, photos
widget,
weather
widget. You can interact with these widgets. Look, here's weather
widget.
Interact with it.
In weather widget, 2 items Everett, current location, 5° Fahrenheit, mostly clear, severe weather advisory, high 14° Fahrenheit. Low of -2° Fahrenheit.
And I'll stop interacting.
Out of weather.
And I'll give you a chance to come to grips with what you just heard, because yes, that was real. We have a low of -2 predicted here. Cold with weather advisory. That's real. But you see how that works. Praise God for his protection. But you see, I stopped interacting, and I did that just to show you another example. You have widgets. If you have them, you can interact with them. And my Macintosh HD, by the way, for those who are wondering, that's a throwback, just because I felt like being nostalgic. Used to be every Mac you got came with the Macintosh HD icon displayed on the desktop. And that was the easiest way to go into your applications folder. And then, you know, they added more things on that. You could add more things to the dock, and they added Launchpad and all these other things. So now we have so many other ways to do it. I like Command Shift A, but they removed Macintosh HD from the desktop in newer Macs. I just liked it on there because that was the first Mac I ever had, and you know, so I keep it on there. So that's why Macintosh HD is there. It does work. Cliff, do we want to add anything else in this one? You know,
that's why I teach this class, because you always give her wrong information. Technically, the Macintosh HD is displayed, but you can uncheck it from your desktop settings, which is what I usually do because I don't need to see it there. But one of the things that I was going to have you go over, I wanted you to show them a few apps with the predictable patterns with that Apple menu, the name of the app and the menu bar, about how consistent Apple is across the board with that. I mean, we're going to go into the details of these apps, but I just want you to show them how consistent it is when
Okay.
it comes to it. And it's not even just an Apple app. There's third-party apps that do the same thing. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, well, let's just take one of the big elephants in the room that people are always nervous about, Pages. Let's go to Pages. I think it's on my dock, so I don't even have to go into my apps folder.
Dock. Photos. App pages. 19 of 30.
And I'll VO space on that.
Finder. Desktop. Weather. Widget. Pages is not Pages. Open. Window. Icon view. Collection has.
Now, I'm on a collection, which means that this is the collection of my existing documents. But if I go to the right,
New document button.
there's a new document button. I will VO space on that.
Now in window. Collection.
And it should be...
Collection.
Okay.
Choose a template.
Oh, they want me to choose a template, so here it said collection.
Collection.
So, how do I know when I want to interact? Well, there's certain keywords we want to listen for. We want to listen for the word area. And it doesn't matter what precedes it. Scroll area, web area, edit area, text area, HTML area. All of these can be interacted with. Now, some of them, like edit fields, don't necessarily have to, but most of them you will. And so if you hear the word area, that means interact. If you hear the word group, radio group, button group, /forward group, menu group, I don't know, all kinds of groups, you're going to interact. If you hear the word bar, toolbar, sidebar, formatter bar, any bar, status bar, any of these bars that you can think of typically mean interact. And another one we've just heard, collection. If you hear the word collection, you probably need to interact. And what this collection is it's a collection of templates. Now, I just want the blank template, but I'm going to interact, VO shift down.
In collection, recents section.
And go to the right. Oh, section sometimes you even means you have to interact. Section, because watch, if I go to the right,
Basic section.
notice I didn't hear what was in my recent section. So if I want to interact with a section, VO shift down. Let's interact with basic.
In section, 0 items, blank, empty white portrait document button, blank layout, empty white page layout document blank,
We want
empty white portrait document button.
that one. So I'm going to VO space.
Now in untitled window, body, edit text, button, group.
Now, because this is
Actions available. Format text quickly by VoiceOver jumping to the formatter.
and that's really important. We're going to teach that when we actually teach Pages, though. You don't need to be concerned about it right now. But it's very important. You need to interact with the formatter to format text, and the VoiceOver jump command, VOJ, is really critical in this app. I'll explain why when we teach Pages. But right now, I just want to show you, as Kliph said, because this app is designed for word processing and page layout and so on, it's already very helpfully put you where you can just start typing. So I don't have to do any moving around if I just want to type.
O space body space S.
I think I messed up a letter there, though.
S space body edit text is in the space.
Now we're gonna
T space space Y O dog period.
Now I've typed the famous sentence, the quick brown fox. We'll press a couple of returns,
New line,
and I'll press the up arrow.
new line. Hello. This is a test. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Okay, this is not a Pages class today. We're going to have one later, so I'm not going to spend any time on this, except to show you that all of those things we already taught you, predictable patterns, work perfectly here. Let's start out with the menu bar. The menu bar, Control Option M, we have the Apple menu first.
Apple menu 10 items.
And that never changes. Every app that you are in has an Apple menu. Directly to the right is always the name of the app you are currently using. So in this case, it's the Pages app menu. VO right arrow and you'll see.
Pages menu 9 items.
Okay, let's go to the right again.
File menu, edit menu, insert menu, 28 items.
Alright, let's say maybe I want to insert something. So I'll VO space or VO down arrow or even just a plain down arrow to open this one up.
Section. Page break, command return, line break, section break, column break, page number, page count, date and time, table of contents, footnote, tables.
And some of these are sub-menus, which means you can VO right.
Chart, text box, shape, submenu.
Like if I want to open this shape submenu, VO right.
Shape, submenu, 12 items, rectangle, rounded rectangle, oval, triangle, right triangle.
Okay, and again, VO left arrow will move me out of the submenu.
Insert menu.
Any of these that I want to activate, same deal, VO space bar. If I want to exit the menu without making a selection, I press
Closing menu.
Escape.
Body, edit text in.
The other thing that works in here, just like your menu bar, is your toolbars and your interacting. Again, I told you that they already start you out in the edit area where you can type in the document canvas in the body of the document because that's the nature of this document. So they're trying to make that as easy as possible. But there are lots of other things in this document that you may not even be aware are here. So if I stop interacting one time,
Out of page 1, summary, hello. This is a test.
I'll press Control to stop that. Let's stop interacting again.
Out of document, layout area.
Now I think we're all the way up as far as we can go, but let's try it one more time. Yep, that sound indicates we can't go up any higher. Now, let's VO left arrow and see what's here.
Vertical splitter, toolbar.
There's a toolbar. Remember I told you, toolbars, and that's probably the leftmost thing that we really need because...
Edited, dimmed, menu button, M-.
Okay.
Untitled.
Well, we'll teach you what that's about when we teach pages, but let's just go back to the toolbar with VO right.
Edit toolbar.
Again, interact and watch what happens.
In toolbar. 14 items. View menu button. 125% zoom menu button. Add page button. Insert menu button. Table button. Chart but text button. Shape button. Media menu button. Comment button. Writing tools. Dimmed button. Share button. Format selected. Radio button. Document radio button. Document.
Okay, so I've learned a lot. I've learned that document and
format
and format are radio buttons. That means that whichever one of those I select is going to affect options somewhere else on the screen. And I'll tell you exactly where. It's going to be probably the formatter area, but we didn't look at that. But if I go to the left, I also notice
share button.
That's how I can share this document.
Writing tools dimmed button.
I can use my Apple Intelligence writing tools, but I assume they're disabled because we have not selected any text. That's VO left.
Comment. Media menu button.
That's a menu. So what kinds of media could I insert? What if we VO space on that?
Menu, 10 items. Photos or videos ellipsis. Image playground ellipsis. Music ellipsis. Image gallery. Web video ellipsis. Record audio. Choose ellipsis. Take photo. Dimmed. Scan documents. Add sketch. Dim. Add sketch. Add sketch.
That's it. So we'll escape out of that.
Closing menu.
And we will stop interacting with the toolbar.
Out of toolbar.
Now if I go back to the right,
vertical split document layout area.
There's my layout area. I will
format, move, and resize items within the document.
Okay, I will show you that we can interact with that to get back to our text, but not yet. I want to go to the right of the layout area.
Vertical formatter group.
And that
format
is it. So that formatter, remember I said the word group indicates you need to interact. So if I interact with that group.
In formatter group. 6 items. Text selected. Radio button. 1 of 1.
Okay, so there's text.
Text body button.
And then notice the first thing we have is that it's the body text style.
Style selected. Radio button. 1 of 3. Layout. Radio button. 2 of 3. More. Radio button.
So I know I have 3 choices here. Style, layout, and more.
Layout.
And then go to the right.
Text formatter. Scroll area.
Oh, scroll area. That means I got to go deeper if I go to the right.
Text format.
That's as far as I can go. So all my choices now are going to be in the scroll area. Let's interact.
In text formatter. Scroll area. 23 items font. Helvetica Neue font family pop-up button.
It's a pop-up button. How do you activate a pop-up button? Well, how do you activate anything? VO spacebar. VO right.
Regular font typeface pop-up button.
It's another pop-up button.
11-point contents selected. Font size. Edit text.
All right, that's an editor. You don't have to interact with it. It said the contents are already selected. It's 11-point. If I want to type something, I can just type something because the contents are already selected.
8.
Now I type 18.
18-point contents selected. Font size.
See how easy that was? VO right.
1.7%. 18-point font size. Stepper.
Now that is another way.
Set the font size.
Okay, that's another way you can adjust the font size without typing it.
No notification.
And then, oops, I pressed the wrong.
Set the font size.
Okay, now.
You are currently on a stepper inside of a scroll area. To begin interacting with the stepper, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow. To stop interacting with the scroll area, press Control, Option, Shift, up arrow.
So it's the same deal. We go to the right.
Font style, group.
That's a group. You'd have to interact with that if you want it.
In font style, italic, unchecked, bold, unchecked, check.
How do you activate a checkbox? Again, how do you activate anything? VO spacebar. So you're seeing all of these. I won't go through the whole menu in the formatter, but you're seeing all of these predictable patterns are the same. They are menu bar, they are toolbar, interact, stop interacting. So if I want to get back now to my text, I suspect I need to stop interacting about 3 times because I think I remember going down 3 levels. So let's VO shift up arrow once.
Out of font style, group.
Twice.
Out of text formatter,
3.
scroll. Out of formatter, group.
And that's it, I think. Yep. Now VO left arrow.
Vertical document layout area.
Back to the layout area. Interact once.
In document layout area, page 1, summary, hello. This is
Interact twice.
in page 1, summary, hello.
And now I'm
In text formatter, scroll area, more, rate text, more, out, vertical document, in body, head, body.
Okay, once I've interacted that second time, it puts me on
Header, group,
the header, which is not what I want, so VO right arrow.
body, edit text, insertion at beginning of text.
And now
Cap HELLO, period.
there's the word hello. I can navigate comfortably within my body of the document, of the body of the document. Now we're going to press, remember, Command W.
Close. In save dialog, do you want to keep this new document untitled?
I don't, so let's VO right arrow.
Tags. Tag where pages show more delete button.
Well, now that you can taught the long way, I'm going to teach the short way. So, as everybody knows by now, and if you don't, if this is your first time listening to the Stirred Up or TTJ Tech podcast, you know, Trainer Kliph is lazy. So, I use the quick nav method, which means I also use the list view. Now, if you go command 1 through 4, it'll give you different options. So, let's listen to what they are. I guess I got to be in actual things here.
Applications window.
So I'm in my applications folder, and you have 4 choices. So let's command 1.
As icons ticked. Icon view.
Icons, I'm assuming that's a visual thing because it doesn't work for, or is that the view you were using?
I was using icon view.
Okay,
yes.
so icons do work with VoiceOver. And the next one is, I think, list view.
List view.
That's my favorite. That's the one that I live in.
As columns ticked.
Columns, some people use that and have been successful. The late, great John Pennery played with it, but he didn't like it much either.
As gallery ticked. Gallery.
And gallery, that one is the one that's the visual thing. So let's go back to my favorite, which is list view.
At list view, row 2 of 1.
And again, I use quick nav, and to toggle quick nav, you can do it with a couple of different ways, depending on your keyboard layout. I have a numpad, so I can push the number 2, and I'll teach you how to make these later, but I can push the number 2 on my numpad and listen to what it says.
Single key quick nav on.
It'll turn the quick nav on, and I push it again.
Single key quick nav off.
Now, that's actually single quick nav on and off, but if I push my left and right arrows together,
Arrow key quick nav off.
that's arrow quick nav off,
Arrow key quick nav on.
and arrow quick nav on. So in order to be in quick nav or to navigate efficiently in list view, you must have quick nav on.
Single key quick nav on.
And
Single key quick nav off.
single quick nav key has to be off, especially if you want to type into edit fields. We'll get into that more later. But what happens with list view and with quick nav on, I don't have to use the VoiceOver modifier of caps lock if that's what I was going to use, or control or option. If you listen to the first episode, you know how I feel about the caps lock key being the voiceover modifier. So if you didn't, go back and listen to the pilot. Anyway, so with list view and quick nav on, I do not have to use the VO keys and the shift key, which is control, shift, shift, control, and the what is the option key.
Option, yeah.
I can just use
list view, row 2 of 100.
And I have to interact with this, but I don't have to use all those keys. I can use one hand with 2 keys, and them keys are going to be the down arrow and the right arrow to interact.
Date modified. Out of scroll, vertical splitter, scroll area.
So there's a scroll area. I'm going to interact by pushing the down arrow and the right arrow together.
In scroll area. 5
You heard it say in scroll area. It's not going to tell you that I interacted, but it is going to tell you what the next level is.
List view, row 2.
Now here's my list view. I want to interact with that. Down arrow, right arrow again.
In list view, row 2 of 110.
Now with voiceover, with quick nav on, with left and right arrow pushed together, when you heard it say quick nav on, I do not need to hold down the voiceover modifier to go through this list. I can just use the down arrow by itself.
Microsoft Office folder, collab news folder, collab Ultimate Podcast, Utilities folder, adapter, Amadeus Pro, App Store, apps application.
And like Matt just demonstrated before, if I start spelling an app, let's go with mail.
Mail application.
And there it is. And with the voiceover, with quick nav on, instead of hitting VO spacebar, I can hit the up and down arrow together, and this is what happens.
Mail, all inboxes.
The mail app opens. So again, whether you're lazy like me, or you have dexterity issues, or you just don't do good with coordination on using a lot of keys at the same time, you can use the quick nav method.
Close.
I'm gonna go ahead and close this with Command Q, and I'm back in my applications folder. I can close that by doing Command W.
Desktop.
Now, the dock. As you heard, Trainer Matt has widgets and external hard drive and his classic Macintosh HD on his desktop. But guess what Trainer Kliph has on his desktop?
Desktop.
Absolutely nothing. There's nothing that I want on my dock, or my desktop, I should say. It's personal preference. I know people coming from the Windows environment, it was like, well, you have update, icons and shortcuts and all that. Now, I don't need that because I literally use a commander for probably 98% of the stuff that I do. Again, we'll show you how to set those up in a couple of episodes down the line. But right now, we're going over the basics to make sure you know how to navigate and move around. Now, I have a keyboard that has a control key on the right side of the keyboard. If you have a MacBook Pro or MacBook Air, you don't have that. So using the caps lock key as a voiceover modifier, this is the only time that I will suggest this. I'm not recommending anything. I'm just suggesting another method. If you have no control key on your right side of your keyboard because you have a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro or a keyboard without a numpad, then using the caps lock key as a modifier and the letter key and the letter D will get you to your dock. Now, I didn't use it because I have a control key on my right side of my keyboard, so I can still push Control Option on the right side of my keyboard and use my left hand to hit D to go to my dock.
Available.
And let me tell you how much I don't use the caps lock. I use the Control and Option with the left hand and push D with the right hand.
Look, I'm just making sure everybody has their options.
Yep.
Now my dock is just as empty. Now I have a few things here.
Finder.
Of course, Finder, you can't remove that from your dock anyway.
iPhone mirroring, that's something that you can do to have your notifications, and it's not voiceover accessible. I just like it on my Mac because it brings my notifications from my phone to my Mac. So that's why I have it there. Photos
is an app that I use enough where I put it on my dock, but not enough where I created a commander for it.
Feedback Assistant,
I'm a beta tester, so that stays there so I can submit feedback, report bugs, and whatever the case. The home, I don't know why that's there because I don't even use that.
Separator, audio hijack.
And then, of course, audio hijack is over there because of it. So that's all that's on my dock. Now, you can put things on your dock, and I'll show you that in a minute.
But desktop.
Let's just go over a few keyboard commands, though. To get to your downloads folder, it's going to be Command Option L.
Downloads window, list view.
You heard it say downloads. If I want to get to my documents, I can push Command Shift O.
List view.
These are just, and you heard it say list view. Now remember, if I wanted to interact
Comment.
here,
List view.
I mean, if you wanted to do the Matt way, you could do VO shift and the down arrow. But if you're lazy like Kliph and you're in list view and have quick nav on, remember, you just push the down arrow and the right arrow together.
In list view, name and number medical training folder.
And I don't know if I said this or not, and I probably didn't because I don't remember it. If you want to stop interacting, it's down arrow and the left arrow.
Out of list view.
You heard it say out of list view. So, also, Matt alluded to it before, Command-Shift-I, iCloud Drive.
List view.
Some of you people coming from a PC world, you like that computer section, right? Well, to get there, Command-Shift-C.
List view.
And it's not going to tell you you're there, but it does say list view. You want to interact? Let's see who's here.
Name empty cell. Cloud shelf media volume.
There's my cloud shelf. That's my network attack storage. The external server that I have on my network that's plugged in, and it's literally halfway across the house, plugged up to my router. But because I have great Wi-Fi, it finds it.
Macintosh HD volume collapsed.
There's my Macintosh HD that I don't keep on my desktop, Matt.
Movie shelf volume eject collapse.
Here's an external hard drive that you could also have show on your desktop, but I do not because I know how to get to it.
Network collapsed.
And there's my network. If I open that up, it's just going to show you what's on my network that can be seen, which is basically going to be my network attack storage, or NAS as some call it, and my work PC.
P-Cloud drive volume eject.
And there's P-Cloud. Y'all probably heard me talk about this. It's another cloud service. Maybe y'all show a little demo of that later on down the line, but right now we're going through the basics.
P-Cloud drive.
So that's my computer section.
Desktop.
You can get to your network section pretty quick if you do Command-Shift-K.
Network window.
Then you heard network in the computer section, but this is another way of getting to it.
Desktop.
Is there any more that I'm forgetting here? Again, if you want to hear your hint, VO Shift in.
You are currently in a group. To exit this group.
Last spoken phrase. I can't remember this one. Is it I think it's VO and the letter X.
Activity chooser menu. 2 items.
Oh no, that's activity chooser.
Closing activity chooser.
It's Z.
Is it the Z?
It's Z. Yeah, so it's VOZ if you want to hear the last spoken phrase.
Desktop.
So that was my last spoken phrase, so that's what it spoke. If you want to copy the last thing spoken to the clipboard, VO Shift and the letter C is in cat.
Last phrase copy to the clipboard.
You heard it say it. Last phrase copy to the clipboard. VoiceOver gives you great feedback. Now, I will say that sometimes VoiceOver talks too much and I hit the control key and tell it to shut up. But if you are a new VoiceOver user, one, I encourage you to keep your hints on. I have my hints on, but they're delayed. In a few seconds here, it's probably going to say something because I have mine delayed by like 12 seconds. So it knows if I don't push a key, it knows I want to hear the hint. But if you're a new VoiceOver user, I beg you to keep those hints on because it will save your life. I guarantee you. Now, you can't really mess with a Mac. You can just, Command Q or Command W and start from scratch. But, that's, pretty much the gist of it. Just explore. Don't be scared to look at something and see what it does. Let me see what else we can do here. Oh, if you want to get to the VoiceOver utility, I have a commander for it, but I think there's a built-in hotkey, and it's VO and F8. Let's see if that opens up the VoiceOver utility.
Opening VoiceOver utility.
And you heard it say it.
VoiceOver utility. VoiceOver utility.
And there's VoiceOver utility. If you listen to my one of the first 3 episodes with the late great John Panarese, he's already gone over the VoiceOver utility. I'm not going to go over that in detail, but I will fill in a couple of blanks for stuff that's new, like commanders, which is now commands, and it also includes a lot more detail and options. So I'll go over that, and I'll also go over how to add and voices to your rotor because that's a little bit different now. But if you want to know the extensive just of
now, as often is the case when as is often the case when Kliph is teaching, I need to fill in a gap where he missed, So those function keys at the top, depending on your keyboard settings, some of those keys are going to require the addition of the globe key or FN key at the bottom left. Well, it's not always at the bottom left. If you have an iMac with the standard Magic keyboard, or if you have a MacBook, then it's at the bottom left. Where is yours located, Kliph? It's not anymore.
It's true for the MacBook Pro.
Okay.
But for the MacBook, for the Magic Keyboard, that function key is now, even if you have the extended one, in the bottom left corner now. I actually
Okay,
have
so
one.
it used to be that the extended one had it in a different place, right?
Right, it was in the 6-pack in between the numpad and
Okay.
the main keyboard. But
So
now
the newer
they did put
extended
it.
ones now actually match up with the rest of them, so it's at the bottom left.
Exactly.
So, and that's sometimes called the globe key or the function FN key. But the point is that you may need, if you try something like VO and F8 or something and it doesn't seem to produce the desired results, you may need to add the globe key. So it's going to be globe control option F8. Now there's a setting that you can change later if there's two basic functions to those function keys, hardware versus software. So you can choose which one you're using more. Now I will say this, Command F5 to turn VoiceOver on and off
Works
always turns no matter what. You never need the globe key with that one.
And the other thing is that that setting that Matt's talking about in the keyboard has already been covered. Again, if you have not listened to the first 3 episodes that I launched around the anniversary of John Pennery's passing, I launched those back in early December. They are on the Tech Talk Coast to Coast podcast, which is what you're probably listening to now. But if you go to the stiritup.com, STURITUP, and click on the More with the Mac page, that page has all the episodes right now that are current on that page that you can just click on and listen to. It's probably going to take you to YouTube because I think that's the link that I used. But those episodes, going over the VoiceOver utility, going over the system settings, along with that keyboard setting that Matt's talking about, have already been covered. So if you haven't listened to those episodes, you need to go back, listen to those episodes so you don't miss anything. So, but yeah, VOF8, as long as your function keys are set to be operated as function keys, again, that's a setting in system settings. Go to keyboards and look for the checkbox and uncheck it or check it depending on your preference. So
Finder, desktop.
there's a couple more in here. Oh, let's definitely go over this. So if you want to, John covered this in the VoiceOver utility thing, but if you want to change your settings on the fly, now, this is going to take some finger gymnastics, as one of our old trainer used to call it, but you're going to have to hold down VO, Command, and Shift with your left hand, and with your right hand, you would use the arrow keys to get to the option you want.
Voice, primary voice, Alex.
That's your primary voice, and if you want to change the options, you'll go down or up, depending on where you are in your list.
Primary voice, Alex, English.
Samantha. Voice to English. Voice 4.
Siri voice 1.
Voice to
And
English.
I like Alex on the Mac, so
primary voice,
that's what
desktop.
we're going back to. So, that's the voice rotor.
Voice, primary voice, Braille table, English, unit, desktop.
That's for Braille table.
Braille table, English, unit, volume, 100%.
Volume, you can turn it up and down here, although I have a commander for it anyway.
Pitch, 30%.
Pitch, that's how deep you want his voice.
Rate, 60%.
Rate, how fast you want him to talk.
65, 70, 75, 80%, 90%. 85, 87, 60%.
I better bring that back down for you can't understand them.
55%. Voice, primary voice,
And then we're
Alex.
back to voice.
Desktop.
If you minus the shift key, you're going to get your I think it's your editing text. What is it called, Matt? Your text your punctuation feedback.
Widgets.
So, oh no, this is widgets. Oh, see,
If you do VO Command left or right without the shift key, it's like turning the rotor.
okay.
Window spots.
It'll
Window
take
spots?
you.
Words.
Yep.
Words,
Characters.
characters,
Navigation.
yep, navigation. Okay.
Desktop. Widgets.
Okay, so yeah, so it's not the punctuation no more. I think you can do that with VO and the letter V. You can go
Speech
to those.
verbosity level menu.
Yeah,
3
here we
items.
go.
On
This
item
is where
below.
this is how you get to the speech verbosity. So you want to go to VO and the letter V, and this is how you get to your speech verbosity. Now we're gonna VO left arrow,
When status changes menu. 3 items. On item. Play tone.
play tone. I'm not gonna change it because I like that.
Capitals menu. 4 items. On item. Speak.
All right, I have mine to speak. You can also have the pitch go up.
Numbers menu. 2 items. On item. Words.
I have my numbers be spoken words. You can have them be spoken in digits.
Text attributes menu. 3 items. On item. Do nothing.
I have no idea what that one is.
Do nothing. Play tone.
That's if
Speak.
your text
Do nothing.
attribute changes like to bold or to
Oh, okay. Mine
yeah.
is set to do nothing.
Typing echo menu. 4 items. On item. Words.
My typing echo. This is an important one because I don't like every character spoken. Some people like characters and words. Some people like nothing. People like Matt type so fast sometimes that he should have his set to nothing, so we don't hear what he's done, what he's typed until he's done. But I like mine on words. You can have it on characters and words, characters only, words only, or nothing.
Punctuation menu, 3 items, odd item, none.
My punctuation is set on none because I don't want to hear every colon, period, comma, dash, underscore, and all that. So, but you can have it on some, none, or most.
Braille verbosity level menu, 3 items, odd
There's
item,
Braille.
low.
I don't have a Braille display connected, so we're not going to go through that.
Speech verbosity level menu, 3 items, odd item, low.
And my speech verbosity is on low. Now that's also in the VoiceOver utility. Matt or John didn't really go over that, so I might touch on that too. But the thing is you can have a default level, but you can also go in and adjust individual attributes. For instance, I have mine set on medium, but when I go to an edit field, I have mine set on high because I want to make sure that I know that I'm in the edit field. When I get to a table, I want to make sure that I know I'm at that table, so I have it set on high so I know VoiceOver will speak that table. So it just depends on your preference, personal preference, we always say.
When status changes menu, 3 items, odd item, play tone.
Okay, we're back to the beginning. So to get to that VoiceOver attributes menu, you want to do VO keys and the letter V as in Victor. All right, I think that's enough for this session. Next session, we'll go over some more attributes. We'll probably have TTJ come back in a couple of episodes, and he already gave you a little teaser on them pages, so that's probably what we'll have him do next. But in the coming weeks, if you want something specific to be touched on, remember send an email to feedback@stirredup.com. That's FEDD back BACK at stirredup.com. We'd like to thank TTJTech.biz for joining us and giving us that great demo of predictable patterns and interacting with groups, scroll areas, and whatever else you said. Anything else you'd like to add before we go?
I think that's it. I think we got a great demo there. Spend some time with it, and you'll find it's going to get easier and easier to navigate.
Yes, folks. That we can't stress that enough. Muscle memory, practice. Don't just do it listening to this podcast. Practice it. Listen to this back. A couple different times. Pause it. Practice stuff. Do it again and again. Because I'll tell you, I've said it before, and I'm gonna tell you again. I did not learn Mac and VoiceOver overnight. You did not learn JAWS, NVDA, narrator, whatever screen reader you use coming to the Mac. If you even came from the PC, I should say. You did not learn that overnight. I didn't learn it overnight because I grew up on a PC, as some of you know if you listen to my pilot episode. So this is something that's going to take time and patience. You can't go to the Apple Store tomorrow, buy a MacBook Air, and take it back in a month and say, "Oh, it was too hard. Stuff doesn't work." No, it's being taught properly, and that's what TTJ and StirredUp.com are here to teach you. So until next time, thanks for joining us, everybody. Thank you for joining More at the Mac, JP Reloaded. Remember, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, something you want demoed, or a topic you want covered, send us an email at feedback@stirredup.com. That's FEE, the letter D, the word back, at STURITUP.com. See you next time.